Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, picks up, and welcome back to my UTEP Dynasty in College Football 25. It's been a minute. Last time I saw you was on stream in the playoffs in Season 3. We're done with Season 3. You see we lost to Kansas State in the semifinals, which was absolutely magical to get to that point. But here today, we're just getting through the offseason, and I say just. We've got a lot to cover, and it's going to be a tasty one. We've got some headline action in the preseason before we get into an amazing Season 4 that's going to have some expectations for the first time. We expect to get back to the playoffs, but first, we've got a lot to cover. So let's sim to the end of the playoffs and see who won it all. Oh my god, whoa! Georgia absolutely spanked Kansas State. Goodness, the Wildcats were shown no mercy from the Bulldogs. 63-9. Georgia absolutely ran the table. I can only imagine how we would have done if we faced them. We were hanging right with Kansas State for that whole game. We blew a 14-0 lead. But anyways, your 2026 champions, the Bulldogs. And we start on the players leaving screen, so let's see if there's anybody on their way out from El Paso. And as I did expect, pro potential was going to be an issue for a number of players, including our 5-star freshman Alex McDuffie. Luckily, we're bringing in another 5-star freshman tackle next season, so I will try to persuade him, but not worried. Oh, he stayed! Alex McDuffie. We'll take it. I don't think it's going to get any better from this point on, but we'll take another year of him. Hopefully he develops and his rating goes into the mid-80s or whatever. But these three I'm actually pretty worried about. Thunderbird's a big player, Miners has a lot of potential, and Earl Rabin, I don't know, let's just see if we can get them all back. Thunderbird has not been persuaded. Damn it, Kavion! Thunderbird, the middle linebacker who I really was starting to like last season, decides to leave UTEP. What about Jeff Miners? D-tackle from New York. What a last name. He stays. And Earl Rabin. Are you staying around? The answer is no. So 2 for 4. We keep Jeff Miners and Alex McDuffie, but the Thunderbird is leaving. Bittersweet. And now it's officially on to the transfer portal and off-season recruiting. We're pretty set in terms of recruiting, but let me go see if there's some good transfers we can bring in. But honestly, I'm not too worried about this roster because we're young and we're developing each season, so I kind of want to see our young players grow and just let the recruits do the job versus bringing in so many transfers. But we'll take a look. And just a reminder of what our board of transfers looks like: Terrell Jeffrey, Hayden Hearns. We got some 5 stars across the board. This is the best recruiting class UTEP has ever seen and may ever see. I'm just going through it quickly. Our tight end that we wanted to get in the end didn't end up committing. But we got ourselves a 6'3" kicker from Dallas. All that good for the number 5 recruiting class in the country so far. See if we can go get a transfer or two. And there were not many transfers interested in UTEP, sadly, but there is a 4-star sophomore corner who we are 3rd on his board for, but he doesn't have a face. He doesn't even have a look to him. So we have no idea what Javion Randall looks like, but he's from New Mexico. He's a 4-star corner. Might as well go for him, I think. And we've got this 2-star middle linebacker, one of the few players that wanted to transfer to UTEP. And since we lost Thunderbird, I am going to go ahead and try to bring Luke Humphreys in. So I will sim a few weeks, and let you know how this all went. So going into week 2, looking at Javion Randall, we are in good position, but Colorado in first right now. Luke Humphreys, we've jumped into first. There's no competition, so not worried about him, but we've got to do a visit with Javion Randall, and look how far his yellow bar went up. So I think I want to do a visit this week and just really get ahead of Colorado right now and worry about his decision later. Luckily, he's got an A+ in playing style, so that's exactly what we'll be talking about on our visit. Might as well schedule a visit for Luke Humphreys, who will also come to UTEP this week, but really think we're going to get Javion Randall. Let's see what the sim gives us after this visit. And yeah, I would have been shocked if we didn't go into first, but look how close it is. I'm happy we did the visit that week. So going into this next sim, it's us or Colorado, and it seems like it's going to be a close decision for him. But Luke Humphreys is basically there. Kansas and Houston pushed in there, but we're going to get Humphreys. Let's see if we get Randall or not after a sim. And no face, no problem. Corner from Farmington, New Mexico, Javion Randall coming to UTEP. Mystery man, we're gonna call him. And yes, of course, Luke Humphreys decides to join the cause here in El Paso. So it is officially National Signing Day. You could do position changes, but Let's see that Miners recruiting class. And we do finish number 5 in the country, which is exactly what I wanted. It gives us one of the bonuses you get from a recruiting archetype as a coach. We've got to get a top 5 class again, which I think is such a ridiculous goal to set, especially if you're trying to build a program up as a recruiter. But still, we went ahead and got 5th overall in the country anyways, out recruiting Ohio State, USC, Clemson, Texas, all these big schools. As I roll through this team, the big thing you're gonna notice is just pure talent. We have the most 4 and 5 stars we've ever had and may ever have. I don't even know if we can repeat this. We even got a 4-star transfer. It is a bright future for this minor program. First, look at Javion Randall as I go to change positions. He's an 86 overall. That's what I was hoping. He's gonna be a junior, so we're gonna get 2 years of him, but 88 speed, not the best in the world, but honestly, I think he's going to be a good player to have. Definitely going to be a star on that defense. And the reason I like slot corners, they're just so balanced. Usually they have good man and zone coverage and good tackling. Going through our freshmen to see if we have any athletes that I need to change positions for, and it looks like we did a great job with recruiting again. I'm seeing some good players like Hayden Hearns has 85 speed, is 74. Ernie Bullitt has 90 speed. Fire me up. Terrell Jeffrey is a 78 overall as a freshman. You love to see that. That's why you go get a 5-star. Only 82 speed, but still really good looking player. But I think we're good on position changes, so we can keep going. And at this point, this is a big week in the offseason. Training results. It's pretty random. Let's see how our players progressed. Usually it's pretty dramatic. And oh my god, the first thing you notice is one of the best things you could have ever seen. Rasheem Radley is an 87 as a sophomore. I think he does have elite development, so you're seeing it pay off right here. This is a pro back that we have on our hands, and he's going to be the absolute feature of this offense next season. God, that's exciting. What a pull there. Jalen Jones, 86 overall. Wish he was a little higher. But just a note with Jalen Jones as we go through this roster. I'll go over some few things here and there, but Jalen Jones, the big note with him, he is 6 sacks away from tying the all-time NCAA record in sacks for his career. 7 would break the record. So if anything, that's one of the biggest storylines to watch in this upcoming season. I wish Javion Randall had a face, but we can now see what he looks like, and there's your boy. There is Javion right there. I like him. He looks like a baller. I'm kind of stunned that Ryan Niblett didn't go up in overall, considering he was one of the best receivers in the country last year. So I don't even know if we're going to get him drafted, which is really sad to me, but what a player. He's definitely going to be the featured player in this offense now alongside Rasheem Radley. Other big movers, you're seeing John Rowland and Cesar Vega both at 83. That's very good news there. Brendan Basham's at 83. Artie LaRue went up by 3 overalls. 2 and 83 as well. Tyquan Anthrop went up to an 82. That's big movement. McDuffie up to an 82. Isaac Carswell up to an 82. Mills is good. We've got some offensive line growth. I like to see that. Pretty disappointed Clayton Sylvan didn't go up any higher. I thought he had a really good season, but he's an 81. Still a very good player. Manu Carrizosa, our other star freshman receiver from last year, up to a 79 now. I feel like that's pretty solid for a sophomore. You see our 5-star freshman right here, Patrick Odanigbo, the #1 receiver in the state of Texas last year. 94 speed at 6'5". I'd love to see him play some this season, but he's our 5th highest overall receiver. We've got a deep receiving core. You see JP Pickles didn't go up in overall. I didn't expect him to, but that leaves the door open for a really exciting QB battle between him and Terrell Jeffrey this upcoming training camp. That is what the training camp's going to be all about. Running back room, it's just good to see that Rasheem Radley got better, because D'Imperio didn't really. Rashard Goodwin got a little bit better. Marlon Stack and Sidney Corker. There's your first look at that power back, elusive back combo we got in recruiting last year. But how about 5 underclassmen out of 5 for running backs? Damn it, Demetrius Baldridge should be a 90. I'm not sure about that rating increase. What a player. Seriously, he gets so many big touches for this team. But look at this receiving core. This is awesome. Like Caesar awesome, this receiving core is deep. And young, too. Ryan Niblett's the only real senior impact player. LaRue, Anthrop, Carrizosa, Odanigbo, even Cole Ferris has 96 speed he's going to be around for 4 years. Really, really good recruiting job in the receiving room. Tight ends, I really wish we got better growth from Ben Head, Ramon East, or Major Dishman, but it looks like Hayden Hearns is going to be that guy at tight end this year. There's a new star in this offense, and it looks like he's going to be wearing number 84, Terrell Jeffrey's favorite weapon from high school. Will Terrell Jeffrey be the quarterback for him? It's a question we've yet to answer. We've got 2 really good left tackles, both upperclassmen though, so we're looking to bring in some younger guys there. Offensive line overall is one of the superpowers of this team. As I roll through it, you can see the starters are all over 80 overall. We've got some depth too with Dom Urlacher, mostly a young offensive line crew. Otis Bowling's an 80 now as a sophomore. McDuffie may leave with a transfer next season, but he stuck around this season, so you never know. But he's a sophomore too. You see, it's a very young crew. I might even put David Sash at left tackle, considering we have 2 upperclassmen there. Defense is led by Jalen Jones. I think that's the easiest way to put it. We bring the pressure, and it's led by him and Nasir Atkins, I must say, who, very excited for more of him. He's still a junior, so lots of room to grow for Nasir. Brendan Basham's a beast. This defensive line is stacked. Trent Grimes being now the highest overall D tackle. Very happy that Jeff Miners stayed. And we've got no seniors, really, across the defensive line. Sophomore, freshman at outside linebacker here. Gonna be a good season for John Rowland, I'm feeling. Cesar Vega is the leader of this defense, and it was Kavion Thunderbird alongside him, but now we've got freshman Ernie Bullitt, freshman redshirt Morgan LeCount, Dean Abraham's a freshman, and Luke Humphreys looks pretty good. We didn't really need to bring him in, but we did. But luckily, it looks like these 3 guys could all be considerable factors on our defense someday, even this year. Carlos Beal is one of the few seniors on this defense, along with Dylan Brown-Turner. I'd like to see some more Evan Baskerville, but maybe. I mean, Dylan Brown-Turner's probably the starter here. Corner is going to be led by Javion Randall, as we've already seen. Jed Olotu Judah is also one of our highest overall corners. And we didn't get much growth overall besides that at corner, which is pretty disappointing. Giovanni Barnes went up, but Tyler Hawkinson didn't really, even though he had a tremendous season last season. He's going to be one of our top 2 corners in the depth chart, since one of these 2 corners is going to be a slot guy. Probably Randall, since he's a little bit slower. You know what? Paul Cush is actually grown a good amount as a redshirt sophomore now. 95 speed too, like Ramon Hope. We're deep at safety too. I'm telling you, the depth of this defense is what has made this team so good. It's why we're able to make deep runs into the playoffs. We can come at you with pressure and speed and depth. We bring in players and they're all pretty good. We can move one of our free safeties to strong safety, but there's your first look at 5-star strong safety Chad Shaw with 93 speed. Dimu Keji with 97 backing him up. And your first look at your new kicking legend, Frank Flanagan from Dallas, who's got 88 kick power to start, which is pretty damn good. So as we move along, we're at the custom conferences stage, and there's nothing to do here. We like where we're at all across the board in this league. We didn't really have to encourage any transfers. We're right at the number we're supposed to be. I guess we can upgrade our skills a little bit. So as you can see in Recruiter, we have to sign 2 top 5 recruiting classes to get to Elite Recruiter, and we've done one of those. So if we keep going with this Dynasty past this year, I'd like to get a top 5 class in this next year, if it's possible, since we're kind of just going ham in this Dynasty right now. It doesn't have to be realistic. We're really just having fun with the minors, building the best program we have, but we can put some points into Motivator. And I'm using them on defensive back. I want our D-backs to get an off-season training boost because there wasn't much of a boost this last off-season. And the last thing we have to do in this off-season before we hit training camp is set up our recruiting board for the first time and show off our schedule for 2027. So we've offered our initial scholarships, we've filled our board, we've got 26 guys on here. I think the ones to note, we found a gem tight end, Dennis Ostergaard. I think we're still definitely looking for another tight end that we can rely on to grow, like a gem, a fast one, because our other tight ends besides Hayden Hearns haven't really shown anything yet. We found a 4-star corner from El Paso. Might as well go get a homegrown kid. Larry Ochi, who will be our new safety after Clayton Sylvan leaves. Seems that way, I'm hoping. Other things to note, we found a middle linebacker with 91 speed, Nolan Hayden. Not a gem, but I think we did find another gem. It was a receiver, Manuel Castellanos from Texas, 6'2". He's got 94 speed, and he's a gem, so definitely one we want to go after. And the last guy that was a gem that I'm looking at, running back George Abreu from Santa Ana, California. So this is all going to change. Teams are going to offer a lot of scholarships here. We may end up 1st, 5th. We may not end up on any of these guys' boards, but these are all the names that we're going after, just starting with our preseason recruiting. I feel like that's all about just finding gems at this point, but we've made our schedule. We are ready for 2027. Let me show you who we're facing. We're going to open up at Folsom Field against Colorado. It seems like we're going to be the number 16 team to start the season, and we're going to head to the number 20 team, Colorado. Should be a good one. They were 8-5 last year. They don't have any of Dion's players since we're in our 4th season now, but that will be a fun opener. Then we face our arch nemesis from down the road, from down the I-10. It's going to be the Battle of I-10 at the Sun Bowl against New Mexico State. And then the big one, we go to Texas Memorial Stadium in Austin and face the Longhorns. It's the test we've all wanted to see, the biggest school in the state of Texas for football. We are the up-and-comers in the state, and it's about time we face them. If we can beat them, it's a true statement in terms of Texas football rankings. Would love to see that. And then we've got Mountain West play opening with San Jose State at the Sun Bowl, and we carry on at San Diego State, home against New Mexico and Wyoming, at Nevada, home against Hawaii, and then our last non-conference game I'm playing later in the season at the Sun Bowl against San Antonio. The Roadrunners are going to come to the Sun Bowl. Senior day will be against Colorado State, and then we finish off at Fresno. And the expectation this year is another Mountain West Conference championship. And ideally, if we can upset Texas or go ahead and beat Colorado on opening day, with this schedule, we should get in the college football playoff. But we can really only afford 1 or 2 losses at most in the Mountain West, and I think that's where we're going to have to capitalize this season. Gotta take care of the teams we can take care of. So now we are here in week 0. I'll show you what the recruiting board looks like before we kick off against Colorado next episode as we really get into this season. I think I'm only going to do 2 or 3 episodes for the entire season. We're really going to move with the videos now. Really wanted to set this up because this is going to be a big season though. And the last thing we're going to cover is the quarterback battle that I talked about. Terrell Jeffrey being this highly rated 5-star improviser quarterback who's got star development coming in. He should just be the starter, right? But we have J.P. Pickles as the other quarterback, and he just led us to the college football semifinal. He's the captain. He may not be very fast and have the attributes that Terrell Jeffrey has, but this dude has been there with this team already. So what did we find out in training camp? The goal was to get Terrell Jeffrey out in space, see him move a little bit, but he struggled, not gonna lie. The thing I really wanted to see was how Terrell Jeffrey threw the ball, how he threw under pressure. He was a little bit inaccurate, but the thing I absolutely noticed with him, he's quick. He's so quick. Having J.P. Pickles at quarterback can make anybody look quick, but he's an athletic quarterback. Maybe not as athletic as the scramblers you see out there, but this dude can move. He's absolutely gonna make you get off of your seat. And he did make some absolutely incredible throws in training camp to Artie LaRue, to Ryan Niblett. We wanted to see him develop that repertoire with these wide receivers, but I mean, he just made plays, and that's what we liked. And then it was J.P. Pickles' turn to impress, and he's been there, done that, and he showed it that way. You can tell he obviously had a feel for the offense, and he shook off some tackles. My God, this dude is a warrior. I mean, we all want to see J.P. Pickles. We all want to see more of him. He made some decent throws. He knows these receivers. But what do you think? You know what both of these receivers look like. You know what it looks like out there with 2 of them at quarterback now. What do you think? I mean, what a throw there. Kind of forcing it, but we've got 2 really good options, and I'm going to leave it up to you in the comments. For now, I have a decision to make, and I think I know which way I'm leaning, but I want to know, who do you think should be UTEP's quarterback going into a big Season 4 with college football playoff aspirations? But until next episode, until a big start to Season 4, this has been Therios with the UTEP Miners. God, I'm excited for this season. Picks up, and you'll never walk alone.